Welcome back on the AM show. We cap the show off on a medical note. Some medical doctors are on an outreach in Ghana to correct spinal defects. And trust me, those are nothing to play with. Whether it's your disc under pressure or whatever the case may be, I've seen people with those and it can be pretty painful, which is why it's such a relief that we have this initiative in collaboration with the Focus Orthopedic Hospital in Pantang. Now, joining us in the studio, we have Ryan Normando, president of 33 Spine Align, and that's Ryan right here. I like the way you went. And then there's Dr. Rory Goodwin, Duke neurosurgeon. He joins the conversation as well. Gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Why even the need for this? I know that practically every year we have quite a number of you coming from different parts of the world to support, to do this. And now I hear of 33 Spine Align. I was just sharing my own stints with Focus in the past. But why this entire initiative? I'll start with you, Ryan.
Yeah, not a problem. So Rory and I met when he was a resident at Johns Hopkins. And we came up with this idea where we just had a like-mindedness to help those that are in need. We had met Dr. Bawachi, Professor Bawachi, our prof as we call him, and he had built a hospital here locally. Through mutual friends, we started this fundraising initiative where we wanted to bring US-based spine surgeons, neuro and orthopedic trained, to bring our talents and tricks and tips over to Focus to help and help those that are in need.
It's interesting. The last time I was in Lagos, which is just a few months ago, I encountered this person who had actually brought his daughter. He was just returning from Ghana, and he had brought his daughter to Focus, and he had quite a lot of glowing commentary on that medical outfit. And it's partly because of the work that some of you do there. But tell me, this time you're targeting 10 people for surgeries. What exactly is happening in that regard?
So this year we were able to raise quite a bit of money that we're going to be using to sponsor kind of 10 life-changing surgeries. We have a wide range of different individuals from a 1-year-old, I believe, all the way up to some young adults that basically will get their spinal deformities fixed for them. You know, a lot of them have have tremendous pain. Some of them have had difficulty walking. Some have had difficulty breathing. They've had a lot of medical problems, and so these surgeries that we're going to be doing over this 4 or 5 days are hopefully going to change some lives.
Yeah, change lives. That's the most important thing. I know of people, because again I have had some stints in there. I know of people, not personally, but with other people, with pinched nerve, some with scoliosis, other forms. Just educate us. What are some of the conditions of the spine? And I know even sitting posture sometimes can impact it. Just give us a bit of education on that before we proceed.
Sure. So, normally when you think about your spine, you want to think about it as, your head over your shoulders, over your hips, over your knees, over your feet, and kind of your ability. But what happens is that sometimes developmental deformities can occur, and when they do, patients can lose. They can either, bend forward or bend backwards, and unfortunately, if we were in the States, this is something that would probably be caught very early on. And so I think what happens is that once that process starts, it just continues and continues to progress. And so you can have different range of things. Some are caused by genetic disorders. Some are caused by just, happenstance. A lot of times for these patients, when they get kyphoscoliosis, or sometimes they'll have neurofibromatosis or some of the other kind of ailments, it can result in severe deformities where, it can impact their rib cage, impact their ability to breathe, impact their ability to walk upright, to look forward. If you really want to think of it at its core nature, usually everyone is trying to always look forward.
Yeah.
And if you can't look forward, you're going to compensate to do that. And so when you have a scoliosis, when your body bends one way or it bends another one, you end up doing all of these compensatory mechanisms which result in increased energy for you to work, to walk, to do all of those different things. So I think all of those kind of contribute to the pain and the pinched nerves and everything else that you see overall.
It's also important to recognize the mental aspect of it too. We like to specialize in young kids, young adults, if we will, anywhere from 1.5 to about 25, 27. Because sometimes we sponsor surgeries when they're children, right, and then they age out, right? But we don't want to forget about them, and so their life ideally is long, and the mental aspect of it to restore confidence, not only along with their standing straight and stuff like that, they be able to carry themselves through their life.
Yeah. And the confidence bit is crucial. And I've met some of these, brothers and sisters, and sometimes they, like you said, they can't even look up properly, and it's a struggle to do that. No one wants to go through that. But speaking of which, in June you had some of these surgeries, 2 of them, and in December you're looking forward to about 10 of these surgeries that you're going to conduct. But there's a crucial factor in there. While you're offering your services and all of that, this comes at a cost.
Yes.
Right? We're looking at around $15,000.
Yeah, that's about the average.
And I know some people, because I've been able to get someone in there who has, through sponsorship, got this done. But what does it take to be able to raise these funds? How difficult or easy is it?
I'm going to let the money man.
Ryan, you're the money man.
It's when we started this partnership, not only with Focus, but between Rory and myself, I equate it to climbing Everest. Right, raising the money is my job, but he has to carry all the heavy lifting. So I usually fly in a helicopter to help him plant the flag. But honestly, it's because of the messaging and the communication, how authentic it is. The fundraising aspect of it has been difficult, but not as hard as you would think, because there are folks back where we come from that are willing to help. They're willing to donate. We do golf tournaments, we do engagements, we do speaking opportunities and stuff like that to help progress that narrative. And help keep communication high and the quality of that communication very high. So we raise anywhere from $100,000 to $130,000 a year right now. Ideally, we're going to increase that allotment over time. But it's been really well received back home. And there's a lot of people out there right now that I'd like to thank and say, appreciate you, and let's keep on driving.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. Even if you want to mention names and outfits, go ahead.
Yeah,
we'll celebrate them.
Well, I was lucky enough to have some really good friends that supported me through this. And when I was talking about the passion, and this is what we do back in the States on different ends of the spectrum. But I was in the industry of supporting and supplying hardware for the surgeons themselves back home. And so through that engagement, we've been able to partner with Ryan Redman, who's based out of California. He owns a distributorship there. He's here with us this year. Chasen Construction and Companies has been paramount in it. And it's just Radcliffe Jewelers. I mean, there's a lot of folks that we're representing out here, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm the mouthpiece that's able to describe this. But I really appreciate everyone back home, and we're doing some really great work here.
Right. So I know you're volunteering. You're offering your services for free, and it's the season of giving. Yeah. So you're offering your talents, your skills, your time to be here. Your resources, basically, to be here. But like I said, what are you looking forward to in 2024, for example, next year? You did 2, you're doing 10. What are you looking forward to next year? And are there any people you'd like to reach out to in terms of funding and all of that? We have about a minute and a half, so let's maximize it. Starting with you, Ryan.
Yeah, so in regards to that, we have 2 mission trips that we're going to commit to every year. Through those fund-gauging opportunities, we're guaranteed to do 2. We have a handful of things geared towards the end of April. We're going to come back in June, and we're going to come back in December. Right now, we've helped 29 total patients. We're ideally going to help expand the June mission trip to another 3 to 5. So ideally, we'll do 15 to 17. But due to the time aspects of it, it's hard to be able to accomplish all of our goals in a week. Yeah. So ideally, we'll move to more mission trips over time.
And then I think the other part of it is the educational piece, which is basically the exchange of information that will happen between kind of some of the U.S.-based institutions and then Focus Hospital. Right. We have...
is there a transfer of skills as well?
On both parts, actually.
Okay.
A lot of it is learning different techniques, different ways. There's some of the most severe diseases that you see, here kind of on the continent. And I think that our ability to kind of use our resources to help them, but then also them to teach us kind of how they perform some of these surgeries from theirs, and then have that kind of interplay is crucial. I think in the future we want to try to bring more trainees and residents and actually increase overall awareness, of what's going on at the hospital.
That'll also increase the frequency of the trips.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is helpful.
Yeah.
Well, what can we say? In the spirit of Christmas, we're grateful to you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming as well. Keep up the good work. And we may not have the full picture, but those who go through these surgeries, they feel it better, what the impact is of these surgeries. So kudos to you guys, and thank you for what you do forgotten country, humanity, basically. So those who join us for the conversation, Ryan Normando, president of 33 Spine Align, together with Dr. Rory Goodwin-Duke, a neurosurgeon, of course, in collaboration with Focus, and that is what they're offering. Well, in the spirit of